Hello, I'll be showing you Pedro II for Brazil and his 4 victory conditions I'd recommend if you were to play as him and what you should win with. The 2 unique units that he has alongside the social policies I'd recommend if you were to play as Brazil. So you'll have Carnival, which will increase your tourism output by 100% during their golden ages, earn great artists, musicians, and writers 50% faster during their golden ages. So in a good picture, imagine that with the World Congress. Can't exactly remember the resolution, but if you have it where you also get great artists, musicians, writers 50%, plus add that 33% in there, you have almost 100% faster, plus there's something else you can get in the game that will make it go over 100%. So with all that said, I mean, it's a no-brainer that culture is the #1 thing Brazil will be able to get a victory in, because you will have tons of arts, tons of things, tons of crazy stuff. I mean, Brazil is a place of many things, and the arts could be the greatest, and obviously alongside football, because that is their sport. So anyway, another thing that could help in culture is the Brazawood Camp, which increases culture, which I'll talk about later. It's that little symbol. Tourism bonus in their golden ages will be very nice. And then also the Prahintas, not sure if I pronounced that right, they will help you out tons as well. But remember something, don't consider them as an offensive unit, because they're not really offensive. They have the same attack bonus, or whichever, as a infantry does. And even in the golden age, they won't gain any benefit. So they're more or less a defensive unit, or if you're going to fight somebody, you go help somebody and take out their units, or for some reason you're fighting barbarians for whatever reason, then you could do that too and get some extra bonuses towards golden ages. Again, I'll talk about that in a little bit. Secondly, well, I highly recommend culture, as you probably already noticed. And then diplomacy is the second best thing. You can sweet talk the city-states. Make sure to get patronage as social policy. It's a good alternative to those who don't think that they're going to win culturally. Let's say you're doing it and you see you got a lot of tourism, but somebody else has way more than you for some odd reason. It shouldn't be. But if they do, then you say, you know what, I'm not going to win it this way. Then you can go diplomatically. But again, you're going to want to have to realize that earlier in the game, so that way you can fill out, or at least fill most of the patronage tree. Grab all those city-states, have tons of delegates in the World Congress, and win diplomatically. I would recommend that. It's not a bad solution. And then third would be science. Science is usually neglected in a game where you're focusing on cultural or diplomatic victory, so it's a little bit, I wouldn't go with it too much. Staying small is still a good idea, but isn't as a picture either. I mean, you can expand, so you can have some room to get some more sciences going on. And jungle may help you as well, because you get some additional science out of it if you keep the jungle in there, which you will, or at least you should be, because Brazawood Camp will not destroy the jungle. So I really wouldn't recommend science. It's really not a great option. I mean, it's possible, but stray away from it. And then lastly is domination. You don't have a personality trait to it. Goes against everything you're standing for, because you are cultural and diplomatic, not bloodthirsty and dominating. So I wouldn't go with this one. The only time, again, to use this special unit, the Prahinka, is in aiding wars or defending yourself from somebody attacking you, or for whatever reason there's barbarians to go knock them out. So I wouldn't recommend that one. With that being said, now I will go into more depth with the Prahinka and the Brazawood Camp. So the Prahinka will cost you 375 production or 700 faith. It is a gunpowder unit. Its combat strength is 70. Its movement of 2. Its ability is golden age from victories. And it does again replace infantry, as I mentioned prior. Again, I'll just go into more depth with this again. He does earn more points toward golden age for each enemy killed. So that does include barbarians, as funny as that may sound. So again, with this guy, he is more a defensive unit, not so much offensive. Now you can use him as an offensive unit. I mean, that's fine, you really can. But I'm just saying, they are kind of designated towards help somebody else's war out, take out their units, help somebody out, gain relations with that other AI, and stuff like that. I mean, even in the historical info here, after 18 Brazilian merchant ships by German submarines, yada yada yada, they did enter World War II. And they did help out the Allies defeating the Germans. And it helped them as a nation in their own Carnival or Golden Age. It helped them. And that's exactly how you should look at it, as read the historical info, and that's what these guys are literally meant to be. That's how Firaxis made it. So now the Brazelwood camp. It will yield you +2 gold, and then later on it will yield you +2 culture once acoustics is researched. This will be in the jungle tile, so it does help tons. It's essentially a trading post, but a trading post on crack. It just will do wonders for you. So you'll want this in every jungle tile that you own. And now I will show you the social policies that I recommend if you were to play as Brazil. Before I show you the social policies, I will tell you about Brazil's starting bias. Now generally you will not be near what I'm in. You will be in grasslands for the most part, perhaps some plains, and normally you will be all over the jungle because obviously Brazil is a jungle kind of continent. Well, not continent, sorry. Country. I don't know what I'm thinking. Anyhow, so you will kind of be near some hills as well. Again, this is a funky start that I got here. I'm playing on continents. For the most part, you may be inland, but from time to time you'll be near the coast as well. Unfortunately, I'm inland. I like being on the coast better, get better benefits. Anyhow, I will show you the social policies. Tradition is going to be the best one for you. You may want to, if you're going a cultural route, you'll want to stay smaller. That doesn't mean that you're confined to just building a few cities. You can build quite a few, but again, with anybody, remember to be careful, because social policies do count towards a cultural victory. You'll want a handful of them, so don't think that now that that's gone, you don't need to worry about staying really tiny and producing, keeping that culture bar low. You'll want to keep the culture bar low, for sure, meaning each city that you produce, it'll go higher and higher for each next social policy. The less cities that you have, the less it costs. So keep that in mind, because that still counts in Brave New World. Anyway, so you'll get free culture building in your first 4 cities. You'll get some extra defense in your city. You'll have less unhappiness for the amount of people you have in your capital. You'll get extra growth in your capital. You'll get some extra production for building wonders. And then also, you get a free aqueduct in your first 4 cities if you complete the whole thing, which I totally recommend doing that. Plus you also get 50% growth in all of the cities as well. And then secondly would be aesthetics. This really puts the nail in the coffin when you're playing a cultural victory kind of game. You'll get 50% excess of happiness added to each turn of the amount of culture that may be spent on social policies, meaning more happiness, more culture per turn. Any culture producing buildings, you'll be able to build it 50% faster. You'll get an increased culture amount by 33% in all cities that have a world wonder in them. And this really synergizes well with the tradition policy, which means you can build wonders quicker. So building wonders quicker, you have more, and having this means you have more culture, meaning you can grab up more social policies. Good day. And then you do get a great artist that will appear. You can fill up any spot that you need for tourism. And then it does reduce the culture cost of future policies by 10%, meaning any one of these now costs less. Well, this bar up there, the culture bar, is less demanding. And then once you do create all this, you'll be able to get more writers, artists, musicians with faith, starting in the industrial era. So it is recommended to have a little bit of faith in here too. Not too much. I wouldn't really go too crazy with faith with Brazil. You don't get too much benefits. And that's going to do it for the social policies. I do hope you like this video. Please rate, subscribe, and comment. And check out some of my other videos. Thanks, guys.